welcome to episode 22 of the SATO Briefing series. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of things. We have a lot of things that we're working on currently. Right now, you can see in front of me and with the intro, one of them is more rotary wing assets, and that would be the Sikorsky S-61 here. Now, the S-61, there isn't one around anywhere that I can find that's this particular variant. Um, so what I ended up having to do is kind of piece together from things that I could find, or hand building them myself in 3D modeling and whatnot. The base helicopter is by David Hardcastle, and it's from, I want to say the first time it came out was for FS8 or FS 2002. And then it was through FS9, and then there was some limited updates for FSX back in the day. Um, this is one of my very few hover control archives that I saved. And many people know that hover control was like the go-to place for anything rotary wing in flight sim. And a lot of those great resources were lost. And I just so happened to have several downloads that were saved, and this was one of them. And I decided to, update it. And this aircraft, there's going to be two variants of each. So I have two external tank versions, and I have a slick body version. So each of those versions will have a radar nose variant of it, like you see here. Um, the slick belly versions I'm doing simply because there are other versions out there that don't use a tank. They either use them for heavy lift, logging operations, or using the firefighting buckets. So that also brings me to another thing that I'm doing with these is that I'm also making a custom 1,000 gallon, roughly scale size bucket for these. Firefighter X does have long line buckets and buckets you can use with that application, but in my opinion, they don't look the best, and for this aircraft, they're not scaled properly, I don't feel. So I decided to make my own from scratch, and I'll be releasing two variants of the Bambi bucket system. So one will be a long line, and then another one will be kind of a long line. It's like a medium length line. It's about half the length of the long line. So if you've seen any of the preview shots I've taken of them, you can kind of gauge just how long either one of those is going to be. So those are going to be some additional assets that will come alongside these in the future. And going on with that, there's going to be a lot of repaints for this. So you can see here that this pack is going to be jam-packed full of Coulson variant paint schemes. So this is just one of them. This one is one of the Canadian versions that flew for Australia. So there's going to be several Australian ones, there'll be several Canadian ones, and then there's going to be a whole slew of U.S. operated ones. So since there's going to be a lot of kind of overlap in these, a lot of the paints will be able to swap. If you by the user, if you wanted to, you can swap them between different models and whatnot with these. So it won't be that big of a deal. One of the other things that I'm doing with this, and you might have, if you're following on Discord or on the Facebook page, you might have seen that I'm also trying to overhaul the interior model of the S-61. So like I was saying, they came stock from FS8 and FS9, so the interior panel was very, very simple. And I don't know if I'll include an image of what it looked like basically stock, but it's very basic. Like, it's literally like three colors. There's hardly any definition or whatnot inside them. It does have functioning rudimentary, well, I should say rudimentary, but it has functioning gauges and I think that was part of the FSX update that was done to this. Um, so those XML gauges do work, and I can kind of preview what the new interior is going to look like. Um, this is the new interior, what it's going to look like. I mean, this is just the prototype. It's still very simple, but it's better than the stock version was. I've moved over the new rotor animations and new rotors to this, along with some other details like wiper blades and um, different overhaul, you know, glare shield, and other things I'll be adding like the center console. I'll be trying to do the overhead throttle quadrants and things like that with this. So there's a lot of stuff to do with this still, and once I'm done with it in this prototype, I've got to move it to all the other models. So obviously you can see the other things I've added, like the tie down points from the rotor blades. Um, so yeah, it's getting a huge overhaul, and it's got PBR, it's got bump mapping, it's got all kinds of stuff. Basically, most of the stuff I'm adding, it didn't have. So it's basically a really strong base to improve upon because, like I said, it was just like a blank canvas essentially. So I've done all kinds of stuff to it, and I've slowly worked on it for. I think I started on it late last year at some point, then just kind of threw it back, back and forth, pick it up every once in a while and do a few more things with it, learn something new, pick it up again, throw that on it. So it's just been kind of a project that I've been kind of holding back on, and then now it's kind of come more to the forefront as it's getting closer to where I feel it would be worth releasing for everyone to have. So, and I think that's all I'm going to say about the S-61 for now because we've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. So, and in the intro, you noticed I am also flying around some very realistic looking scenery. And that's bringing me to another thing that we're going to be doing here pretty soon is that if you've also been following along, I've also let everyone know that we are going to start dabbling in scenery for the air attack bases. So Jeremy, our other modeler, he's going full bore in Microsoft Flight Simulator and is very close to releasing a very accurate scenery of him at Orion, which is where I'm at now. Now, this scenery here we've had in SATO for a while as an internal scenery. And as Jeremy's gotten closer to releasing his for Microsoft Flight Simulator, um, he gave me the go-ahead to go ahead and release the FSX/P3D version for everyone else to have. So I've been doing a few things to just fine-tune the ground textures. There was a little abnormality in one part of the ground textures, but that's since been fixed. And we're going to be getting ready to also release this in the near future. So this will be freeware, and then I'm not 100% sure yet if the Microsoft Flight Simulator variant of Hemet is going to be free or not. I'm thinking it's not, but that is going to be coming soon. Like I said, you can pay attention on the Facebook page or on Discord. It'll be announced either place whenever that is finally released. Now, that also brings me to, yes, the S2T that Jeremy is designing and building is still in development, and it will come for FS 2024. And now, from what I understand from what he told me is that all the aircraft in 2020 will be compatible in 2024 and vice versa. So I'm thinking that if you have one sim or the other, and granted, since 2024 is coming out with all the fire-based scenery stock, that's kind of be the ideal platform, I think, for his S2 when it comes out. So yeah, so I don't know when that's going to come out yet, but it's still being worked on, and that thing is, I don't think you're going to get any closer to a firefighting aircraft in the sim, at least yet, unless he builds another one, which he very well might at some point. Um, And as far as other stuff goes for P3D, I am looking at a few other things that we're going to be bringing. So I did get a few aircraft from George Arana over at Eagle Rotorcraft, and he's allowed me to release some of the PBR converted aircraft that he did. And since it's uh, kind of a platform that we use in aerial firefighting, he graciously just gave them to me so that I can do what I wanted with them and then release them. But he pretty much did most of the boat, well, I should say most of it. He did all the work for converting it over to P3D. So they've got PBR and all the gauges and everything were updated for use in P3D. So those are going to be the lead air attack platforms. In particular, the first one that's coming is the Aero Commander 690B, the Turbo Commander. So it's the freeware variant, and it's by the it starts with a V, and it escapes me. But everyone probably knows which one I'm talking about. It is not the payware Carenado one. It's the freeware one from the guys in South America. And like I said, I can't remember their exact names. But that the Turbo Commander is going to come, both versions, the winglet version and the straight wing. And it's going to come with the stock paints that came with it. And then I'm doing a bunch of Air Attack Bird Dog paints for Australia, Canada, and the U.S. There's going to be, I'm already talking to a couple of guys in the community. They're also going to do repaints for it, so it's not just going to be what I release. At some point, there's going to be somebody or several people that will do a slew of other Bird Dog and Air Attack repaints for, North America and Australia and anywhere else that the Turbo Commanders are used for firefighting. And obviously, anybody who uses them in civilian aviation can obviously paint their own for that as well, because it'll have the blank white paint that will come with it, so it's easy for repainters to just throw whatever paint they want on it. The second aircraft is going to be a jet lead platform, which is the Cessna Citation II. I think it's a Citation II. Yeah, it's a Citation II Mustang. Right now, the U.S. Forest Service does contract a few jet lead platforms from some of the jet air tankers, like the BAE 146 or even the VLATs, like the DC-10s. You don't see them used very often, but they are. I think they're used more in Australia right now. Coulson has several that they ferry back and forth that they use in Australia for lead operations and coordination. So those are two other aircraft that I'm working on that will be coming. And then I'm also looking at possibly updating the FSKBT P3 Orions. So I was looking at them, and everyone knows, or maybe you don't know, but I did a huge update on the FSKBT Electras several years ago, and then I redid them again with PBR and stuff last year. So that was a pretty big project by itself. But the P3s will get a similar. I'm hoping I can do this, and they won't. I won't get in any type of have any issues with it, because anybody who knows anything about FSKBT, you try and contact them, it is darn near impossible to contact them. And with their Electras, I just so happened to be at the right place at the right time, and they gave me permission to modify them into the air tanker versions. And their P3s are already air tankers. The only thing that I'm going to be doing is basically just updating the cosmetics on the airplane. So it'll get a PBR update, the paints will get freshened up, it'll get a new tank, some more details on the tank, and a few other changes. But the airplane will be largely the same as when they released it. It's just going to get some cosmetic updates that I think will hopefully keep it around and a little more, in the newer sims, it'll still look good. It won't look dated. I think it's starting to get to that point. Even though it's a great model, it's starting to get to that point where it's starting to look a little old. So I figured, and since the P3s aren't going to be flying anymore, maybe in real life, I thought it would be kind of a cool, maybe hopefully not a send-off, but you never know with how that stuff goes anymore nowadays. So I think that's all I've got in for updates right now from us. Granted, there's a lot, but that's kind of what we're looking at over the next month or so. There's a lot in there. So you got this helicopter, two other um, 2 other airplanes, possibly a third airplane, and you're looking at scenery too. So, and I am building my own scenery too. So, and if you want to check out on the Facebook or the Discord channel, I'm also working on San Bernardino tanker base, just the tanker base portion, not the whole airport. So, and I think that might be what we do, or at least I will do for some of the stuff in P3D, is just do the air attack base portions. And if I do team up with somebody from the community to do the whole airport, it'll be kind of more of a community based operation. It won't just be from me. It'll be, it'll be portions of it be from me, and then other parts will be from community members. And then, like I said, we can try and get together on making whole airports at some point if it yields, uh, if it's possible with everything that goes on with scheduling and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, so if you're going to keep up on all of this stuff that's going on, because like I said, there is quite a bit, and you might get a little confused, but stop by the Facebook page, for more intermittent updates, and then if you want sometimes multiple times a day updates, check out our Discord channel. Thanks for tuning in, and tune to the next one.